Good evening. Welcome to the Bully Busters. This show is produced by Debbie and Laurie. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying this first snow of the season. The last couple of days we've had a couple of snowstorms and stuff. Some were waiting for it and some weren't. But hopefully you shoveled out and enjoying the weather and getting out there and getting some fresh air. The Bully Busters has been busy. We got a couple programs that we've been starting up in the last couple of weeks. The one on Monday and Tuesday is called The Odyssey from 3 to 5 down at our location at 87 Broadway, United Congregational Church. That is run from 3 to 5. And another program we're excited about on Monday nights is we started a program with Dance Express, free dance lessons for the young people, middle school on up. No charge, your own cost is coming in and with a good attitude and leaving with a good attitude. And that also will be located at our 87 Broadway location. So check out the Bully Busters. We're on Facebook. We got a lot of programs and activities coming up. And like I said, they're all at no cost. We just want our kids to go out and become upstanders and speaking up against bullying. We've gotten a few phone calls lately. And just remind you folks, the new law that was just passed on the anti-bullying included the cyberbullying. The schools can only do so much regarding that. It's up to you parents to monitor what your kids are posting on their Facebook and on their computers. Because you can be held accountable. The schools can monitor as much as they can and keep the kids on task at home. But once the kids go home to school and they're on that computer and they're bullying each other through Facebook, it's up to the parent now, because you can be held accountable. Who's in charge of that internet access, and that's the parent. So I encourage you to monitor what your kids are posting on that Facebook, because you can be held accountable, and we want you to. Because it's serious stuff. The internet, it's a World Wide Web, and it could be a great tool, but it can be a vicious tool. So please monitor what your kids are posting, so the schools can do their part, and the parents should be doing your part. And kids, I grew up, start each word with a day kindness, and then each day with a kindness, and treat others how you want to be treated. So that's my little talk on bullying. But we're also here just to talk, our name of our show is Community Friends, and here to talk about different things that are happening in the Norwich community. And there's so many good things happening in the Norwich community. We just need residents to participate, volunteer, and embrace it. No more naysayers, and, let's embrace what Norwich has to offer. The last few years, the city of Norwich has been faced with major impacts on budget cuts and stuff, but we as a community can step up and help in a variety of ways to help out those budget shortfalls. Whether it's volunteering at the library, which they could always use help down at the library. At City Hall, they have the program, I think it's called The Docent, where you can volunteer and help out. Just check it out. There's many ways we can help the city to impact these, help with the impact of this course. And even volunteering in the schools. Right now, January is National Mentoring Month. So if you have a chance to mentor a child 1 hour a week in the school, it makes a world of difference and can last a lifetime. Contact the superintendent of schools, and she can give you more information about the mentoring program. A program which most of you know is near and dear to my heart, which I helped get created maybe about 8-10 years ago. But they're always in need of mentors, so that's another place you can help out with the schools, volunteering. So think about that. So with that, I got two community friends have just embarked on a variety of different ways to help promote Norwich. And they're just doing this on their own. And this with me is Keith Ripley and Karen Neeley. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes. So Karen, you started a Facebook page.
I was actually part of the starting of a page. Another friend who works very hard in the city to promote what's good about the city started it, and I'm just helping that person administer the page.
And that's what Bill Kinney?
Bill, who's known by known to a lot of people for his wonderful columns in the Bulletin, and for his way of uniquely motivating people to get up and pay attention to what's going on in Norwich. Started a page called Celebrating Norwich, Connecticut. And the thought is that we have so much good about Norwich that's going on that we need to put it into a place where people can see the good on a regular basis. And the hope is not just to get people in Norwich excited about it, but it's to get it to the outside world, to show the outside world beyond here what's good about Norwich. So people who don't live here, people who haven't come here to do business yet, might be excited about all the things that we have.
If they're traveling in the area, they're heading to the casinos or Mystic. This Norwich is a tourist spot, and it should be promoted as such. We have so much beautiful stuff. And Keith, you've been taking pictures left and right of beautiful Norwich.
I've been doing it for about a little bit over 2 years. Started off with thinking about 350th anniversary, and I came up with this concept of taking pictures and uploading them to Google Earth. And so there are now over 50 of them up on Google Earth, and they're getting about 1,000 views a month. And every day is another opportunity to take a great picture of Norwich, and people just recommend it, and they really enjoy it. And there's a part, one segment of it is showing historical houses, and it also includes a little map that shows you that you can walk around the Norwich Town Green area, and it's about a 30-minute walk, all sidewalks, which is great for walking and healthy, and also there are great views there. There are not only the houses that I've taken pictures of, but the adjacent houses as well, and it's really a great area to draw people in.
Very historic area, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and Keith does a wonderful thing. He makes magnets out of his photos, and if you don't have 1 or 2 or 12 on your refrigerator, then you're really not celebrating what's good about Norwich, because he's so generous in sharing those with everyone.
Well, thank you. There's also postcards and, of some of the pictures I've taken. They're available at the clerk's office, and they're available at the library, and all of it goes toward, the funds go toward the library in support of the library.
Oh, great. I just recently got one of his coveted calendars that he just produced.
Wow.
Not many of those.
That one was coveted calendars, which was nice of the pictures and stuff. And that's the thing. Folks need to embrace our city and what beautiful, and hopefully some homeowners will embrace taking care of their homes too and beautifying them and keeping them up. And there's many ways to do it.
Well, I think we've seen a lot more of people maintaining the historic value of their homes. I think we've seen a lot more of that come forward. I think we've also seen, one thing we recently posted out on the Celebrating Norwich Facebook page was the restoration or the upkeep of the front steps of City Hall, which is a historic building. And if we don't invest in ourselves in maintaining, if the city doesn't maintain its properties, you can't very well ask homeowners to maintain their property if the very heart of our city isn't presentable and safe and functional. So I believe it's a good investment when we do that.
And let's invest in it now before it costs double the price.
Exactly,
Let's
exactly.
repair it now before it gets worse.
I think the city has a great program, too, where they recognize people annually, those who have really dedicated themselves to improving their property, and they get a plaque that identifies that they have been recognized, and that's really a nice feature in Norwich.
One of the things we try to do with our youth, the Bully Bus, is we try to do a couple cleanup days, but even if the residents could start, because, due to budget cuts, the public works guys can only do so much. In the summertime, if they see the weeds coming up out of their sidewalks, even though it belongs to the city, take them down, help and keep your little area clean. That cuts back on what the public works got to do, and it makes it look nice. If, they see trash, pick it up. I mean, yeah, it may not be mine, but let's, if we all pitch in, and I think it goes a long way.
That's very, very true. It's the similar philosophy about, we're required, if you have a sidewalk in front of your house in the wintertime and it snows, which it just did, you're required to take care of that portion in front of your property. And if everybody did that, then the sidewalks would remain open through the winter. So trash is the same.
If you look, there's not too many people that do it, and it's unfortunate. And that when you get the folks walking out on the road and stuff. So what are some of the things you posted on your page that's positive in Norwich? I've seen a few of the things.
Well, we've got so much going on. Excuse me. I know that one of the things that was posted by Bill out on the page was the very first thing was the Connecticut Tigers.
Oh, yes.
And the good fortune that we have to have baseball right here in the community, and their opening day is Wednesday, June 20th, which sounds like a long way off, but it's really, really not. So, we're fortunate to have, and the baseball games are great. I went up there last summer. It was a fireworks night, and I think it was $10 for the ticket, and the food was pretty reasonably priced, and we got a fireworks show at the end. I mean, where else can you, on a regular basis on Friday nights can you get that?
Yeah,
Right
we
here in
need it. We
Norwich, you
need
can get
Norwich.
that.
And we also got the Connecticut Sun, their basketball team. It's, they're based out of Uncasville, but you're basically a Norwich and Greater Norwich team.
Well, that's very good. That is good. That's an attraction at a very reasonable price, once again, like what you were talking about. So it's not just Norwich, it's how Norwich and the area around us work as well.
And what we need more folks to embrace the First Friday stuff and the different art galleries and stuff that are happening downtown. There's a lot of folks who'll go out of town for that stuff. They'll go to Mystic, they'll go to London. We need folks just to, our own residents embracing, a new restaurant will open up and maybe, it's tough to open a restaurant and keep it up. But support them. Give them a couple of tries. Maybe the first time may not be the greatest because they're just open, but give them a second try, or let that restaurant owner know, okay, this is what was wrong, so you can come back. So,
Well, the First Friday is a really interesting thing. I mean, the galleries, I happen to know one of the people who run the galleries, and I ask him each month, and I said, how does it go? And he says, it's really exciting, and a lot of people come in from out of town. I happen to talk to one of the restaurant owners down there, and they say, hey, it's not just all Norwich that is coming in here, it's people from all around, and they see they come here there's a reason to come to Norwich. There's a reason for enjoying the restaurants and enjoying the entertainment, enjoying the park and all the entertainment that's associated with the park. I mean, you figure we have the farmers market, we have the Harbor Fest, we got Taste of Italy, we have now with the new owners of the marina, the fireworks are going to come back on the 4th of July.
oh, good.
And so, there's a lot of exciting things that are going down there, and it's something to do. It's something, we're part of southeastern Connecticut. We are a draw, and that's a positive thing that I feel that's now going on. We're moving ahead. We're getting excited.
Isn't the Noontime Rotary, or I think it's Body Home, trying to do something with the trolley car? Is that coming into, they're trying to get a...
Well, they surely are. That concept of something new in electric, as far as electric trolley car is concerned, but that concept is here in Norwich as well. Norwich Public Utility, which is, they're very, they're focusing on green, they're focusing on gas, and they're cooperating with something new that's coming to Norwich, and that's the Transportation Center, and that's going to be a new addition.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of new things in Norwich, a lot of them, and there's things that, we tend to be quiet about what we have.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
we need. We need to not be so quiet because we're being selfish if we hold it to ourselves. We want to tell others what Norwich is all about.
And didn't they just say at the State of the City address, the triple bond rating? You may know this, we're
AAA bond rating,
Yes,
correct?
that's right.
We're one of the best in the state.
That's correct.
And that's
We're in a good position to borrow money to make the necessary improvements, whether they be infrastructure, right? Infrastructure is very important because a lot of our infrastructure is lagging. And when people hear that the city wants to make another investment in something that they want to develop that could move us forward, especially around the harbor. I think the harbor, as you were talking about, I made notes similar to yours, I think, but talking about the harbor, I said local businesses and community leaders are doing a great job of showcasing our harbor, and it's starting to come to life. The docks in the summertime where they have bands down there. That's been a great initiative.
Yep.
You said the farmers market, the fireworks, and the dragon boat races that the chamber puts on. I mean, dragon boats, we come and see those. And the fishing, from what I understand, the fishing is outstanding.
Great, and fishing's not only in the harbor though. It's already also in the Yannick, it's also in the Setauket. And if you talk to the people who live out here, and you mention the word fishing, their eyes light up. I tell you, so it's another thing that we need to share with everybody. Say, come and see. I just recently went over and took a picture over just across the 8th Street Bridge in Greenville area. And that's a state fishing area right up by Greenville Dam.
And so they do the salmon or something?
Yeah, and that's one of the pictures that's up on the net to say, okay, here's where there's a special fishing area set aside besides our harbor and besides the other areas.
Which is great. So just letting folks know there's so much available to them, either at no cost or very limited cost. We have a lot, like you said, we have a lot of activities and events coming up in Norwich between we need folks to participate and come to and tell their friends, if they're, tell their business partners, hey, this is Norwich is not a bad place to stop. And it's safe downtown. Both our locations are in downtown Norwich. One's across from the library and one's across from City Hall. We're safe in downtown, and we just need folks to embrace it.
Well, it's interesting because when you talk about the rivers and, our waterways, when you talk about things that are, low cost that you can do, the Upper Falls and the Lower Falls and Indian Leap, not only is it beautiful, I mean, I took another walk through there recently with my dad, and I went over and walked across the railroad trestle that connects over to Asylum Street, because really the trail starts by the dog park over by Asylum Street and really comes down. But, that's a beautiful area, and it's low cost or no cost to do. And it's of huge historical value. I mean, that's the thing, is our beauty ties in to our history in so many ways, right?
Yep,
you
that's
see
right.
that through the camera's eye, don't you?
Well, I think it's something that the camera is one thing, but it's also to be aware. Be aware of what's going on. The thing that I see besides our history is it feels like the city's on the move now.
It does.
And I've been here about 16 years, and this is the top of the line. This is a top moment that I feel like we're moving ahead. We're not just standing still. We've made efforts, obviously, by some of the things that we had. The Kelly School Auditorium, which is a terrific asset, and those are things that we've invested in the past, but we've been conservative financially, and we have been able to get our high rating in the bond market.
Now, do you want to talk a little bit about because I went to the meeting, the initial one, about the conservation plan? Is there other meetings coming up that residents have a chance to participate?
I'm glad you brought that up. I happen to be on that special committee.
That's why I came up with this idea, because
we would never know that.
It seemed like the same thing. We were preaching to the choir at that meeting. We need more folks to go.
For those who watch it on television now, if you had the opportunity of following us on the council meeting, I likewise made the same pitch last council meeting. And there's one coming up on Wednesday, February 1st, at 446 North Main Street. And you might say, where's that? That's in Greenville. That's the Greenville Fire Department, from 6 to 8 p.m. We want you to come on down. We want you to come and join us and give us the ideas, because it's from those ideas. And also, we want you to come down to the mayor's meetings on Saturdays, every other Saturday. It's amazing where a little seed that you plant, the people who are there who can do things,
and they need to hear
can grow on.
One of the things that came out of that meeting, there's been many things that have come out of that meeting, I believe, because we faithfully go. And I want people to know that those meetings, those One City Forum meetings, are open to the public. And it's a very casual, informal way to talk to not only the mayor, but the majority of the council members often show up. And we have these great dialogues. One of the things I'm proud of that came out of that is that we had discussed the city website several times, and that everybody knew that it needed to be upgraded, but we kept talking about it and talking about it. And then it seemed a couple weeks later, at one point, there was a request for, an RFP going out for there to be a vendor to improve the website. There's been a survey to improve the website. So by continuing to have these dialogues on a regular basis, it helps.
And if I'm not mistaken, these One City Forums are different than from a city council. These One City Forums, you can ask the council members, and they can actually answer you a little bit easier than they do at a city council.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's more of an exchange. It's a conversation type thing, rather than the formality which necessarily the city council has to go by. But one of the things that is exciting, coming back to Bill's page that you and he work on, is that I just noticed the posting is that he's reflecting back on what the website is saying, and they're asking for pictures from the public. They say, what do you like? What are you proud of in Norwich? What do you want the world to know? The positive things of Norwich.
And people need, that's a great opportunity. Like I told you, we're going to do that one, that conservation plan with our youth, just to see whether are they proud to admit where they live and what do they want to see, because they're the next ones at the table, so they need to have input. But it is so many ways you residents can just be involved and participating in the city, whether it's, getting on their website and posting something, coming to these forums, one on February 1st, and the other ones are every other Saturday?
There's February 11th is the next One City Forum, and what I want to say that's special about that is that, we've worked really hard in the city to communicate what it is we'd like to see in terms of economic development. And that's another topic that gets handled at these One City Forums, is the economic development. And there's a subcommittee of people that stepped up to help better define the measurements and the criteria by which we're going to measure success in the things that are important to us that we want to try to accomplish in that economic development plan. So that's a really important time for people to show up and listen, voice your opinions, speak up about what you feel is important, and it really does make a difference. There's a lot of naysaying that goes on, like you said earlier. There's a lot of negativity, and I wish I could harness the energy behind that negativity into one good thing every day. And I think that's what, Keith works very hard from his side in his unique ways to do it. I work hard in my ways to do it.
You're both are volunteering your time, and which is great.
But it only makes the community better for all of us. I mean, I'm not sure why. I don't look at it as a bad investment. I look at it as an investment in making the place where I live a better place to live for everybody.
Well, I think that last meeting was a big movement forward. We've been talking about the measures, and all of a sudden, out of this 1.5 hours, it got worked out, and others stepped forward, and we're going to move ahead. As I say, it's moving on. I think one thing I would like to talk about, I don't mean to interrupt you, is let's talk about Norwich Public Utility and how we feel about that.
Oh, I know. We're so lucky.
Yeah. If anybody's just, these last two storms, and, this, all you got to say is mention Norwich Public Utilities. I mean,
they've been recognized in Norwich, in New York Times. They've been recognized in their professional magazines that are affiliated with public utilities. I mean, this is really terrific, and they are thinking forward, just like the rest of the city is thinking forward as well.
Yeah, they've been very good to the Bully Busters, and just the Going Green effort they've been putting on for years, and
But I think what makes public utilities unique, and anybody who knows me, who's talked to me for a period of time, either through meetings or whatever, knows that my particular passion is about who your customer is and serving your customer. And public utilities learned very well who their customer was and stressed that to every person along the line. So that when you encounter anyone in public utilities, the lineman out on the street, anybody, they're always polite to you. They're always attentive to your needs, and things get done, and they learn that. And I think what's encouraged me about the city of Norwich and about the group of us who, for a period of a couple years now that I've seen since I've stepped up, have really stepped up a little more, is that the city and the city leaders are all listening to those of us who are the taxpayers, who are willing to step up and help and be, pull a little bit of the load a little bit, but also expect in return the work.
And like, I know we're getting ready for another budget season. The city's going to be here, budget's going to become. But think about how our city's invested in us, and attend these meetings and have some positive input. And that's what I'm hoping for, because, they're just going to be complaining, we're cutting this and but have some positive input, be part of the process, attend these meetings. We all know we go to the council meetings. It's usually the select few that go to them, unless they're watching it at home on TV, which I can respect that, but, participate. Here you have a chance on February 1st to decide on what happens with your city in the next 10 years.
That's right.
You have a chance to have an input. How often do you get that?
And there's going to be two meetings. Really, the one on the first is the first one that's involved, and that's for the Greenville neighborhood and the surrounding neighbors to be able to get together and put their input. And the second one is going to be over at Dime Bank. And that's going to be 2 weeks after that. But take a look in the newspaper. It's going to be published. It's going to be announced. It is on the web. But we want you there.
It'll be on the Celebrating Norwich, Connecticut Facebook page, so become a fan of that and like it.
Sure.
And you'll learn about all of these wonderful meetings.
So to check out your pictures, they gotta go on, because I'm not that great with a computer, so they gotta go. I am and I am. If I have trouble, I call my kids. I know how to do Facebook, that's because the teenagers set it up for us. So they gotta go Google or else they
No, the easiest way is go on Google and go into search, and you put in K. Ripley Panoramio, and it will come up to where you just click on the link and you'll see all of the pictures all at once, and you can take a look at it that way.
Okay. So what does the city officials have said about what you two have been doing? Any feedback from them? And Bill?
Actually, I have to say that the city is what I consider to be, and I'm going to say this as positively possible, they're slightly behind in the times in the social media area, I think. We've got a few city employees who are, but the city hasn't got to that point yet. So no one has said anything negatively about any of our efforts. I just am not sure that they've embraced it yet.
Well, I'm a big advocate for using Wi-Fi and to our benefit, and the use of our fiber optic, which is going to be great used as far as Greenville is concerned for security purposes, cameras. But I do get a feeling that before we were fragmented in how we used our website and similar type communications with the community. Now I think they're going to centralize. I think they're going to realize that it has to be strong and up-to-date and more inviting than what we have in the past. And they really want to do that.
And I know, because they even changed how they tape the city council shows. They have that one camera, which is okay, but you don't get to see the guys on this end of the council. And I mentioned to Charlie, and I forget who else is sitting next to him, you don't get to see them because that camera is just pointing in one direction.
But for somebody who watches it from home, I did make a comment about that there was a problem with the feed at one of our meetings. And now the feed has been fixed. They went and they checked the quality of the feed. There was a problem with the wiring or the cabling, and they fixed that. So the fact that we can see the council and we can see people at the podium, I think is a vast improvement, and the camera stays steady and we can hear everybody. So to me, that's kind of important.
Well, I think there's an example of where the people who helped us with that, the Comcast right here said, they came in and they helped with updating the equipment and working. So it's really a lot of times it's in the asking or letting the people know what you need, and that's it. And
there is a constructive comment.
There is a trick at the podium if you when you want to talk to the camera, just move to the side.
They just tell me I got to wrap up. I want to thank my guests for coming on. Thank you very much for what you do in Norwich. Okay, folks, go out and be a good community friend and check out what we're doing out here in Norwich, and please attend the One City Forums. That's where you can get your word in. Thank you, and be a good community friend.